Hey, does this work?
Yeah, it works.
Can I beard play?
Sure.
Hey, thank you. Hey everybody, welcome to the Midnight Movie. I'm Dave.
I'm Rich. This music, listen to this. This is some quality stuff we got.
Kind of creepy stuff, isn't it? Yeah, it's good. It is good stuff. Maybe you'll remember that for your next movie.
Well, it's creepy enough because you were in it. I didn't need any music.
Anyway, yes, we'd like to thank our good friends from the Midnight Syndicate for providing us with some good mood music for tonight's show. And apparently, we're
Denny, put some pants on!
We're really inspiring the next generation.
Your pants! Sorry. I didn't think it was appropriate.
You got to walk around in your skivvies like that?
Yeah.
Jeez, oh man. Anyway, welcome to tonight's show. Hey, don't forget to check out.
What did you say?
What?
Welcome to tonight's show. Who's that? Who's that guy the Beatles are on?
Ed
Sullivan? Ed Sullivan. It took you over for a second. Welcome to the show.
I was stifling a belch.
Holy, stifling a belch.
She was having a little seizure.
Anyway, hey, check out our website, themidnightmovie.net. Also, the Midnight Movie is on Facebook, so go to Facebook, look
can
up
watch
the
it on
Midnight Movie.
Facebook?
We can't watch it just yet. We are still working on that. That's right. We need to get working on our website there, Rocco.
Yeah, we had some complaints about that.
We have about the website.
Yeah.
Is what we've had complaints about?
Yeah.
When there's so much more to complain about?
But specifically, they were like, hey, I can't see none of the stuff on the website. What goes on with this?
We'll get there sooner or later.
I'm not complaining
Hopefully
about what
sooner.
was posted on Facebook last week. So.
Probably about that Ralph guy, troublemaker. I mean, I love our viewers, but that guy, I don't know. Ralph, I'm just kidding.
I think he said something about physics or biology.
Something. Oh, all right. Now it's a show. We got the Zaxter in the house.
Hey guys,
now
nice
it's going to be a good show. How you doing?
Good.
What's up, man? Enjoying your summer? You watching these movies?
Is it still summer?
Who knows? Yeah,
Enjoying
we're probably into fall by now.
Whatever it is. Enjoying your after-school activities?
Doing your homework?
Getting A's, straight A's? Because, you know, if you want to be in these seats someday, you're going to have an education. You know, right, Dave? Dave's got a master's in BS. And me, I got a diploma somewhere. All right, Zach's starting. What do you think, Dave? It's great to have the young talent on the show. He rolled his eyes when I did that. I like that. You do the same thing, but I couldn't touch that hair. Hey, your hair kind of matches. He's like a young Dave. Yeah, give it a shot. Go ahead. Go ahead, whack me. I love it. I love it. I love it.
See,
you do better than him.
Maybe I can teach the next generation. Anyway, tonight's movie is Rocketshipxm. Ooh, and hey, you know what? We've got some recognizable folks in tonight's movie.
John Carradine.
No, not John Carradine. You're really focused on him.
He's got to be in something.
With his arthritic, gnarled hands.
Yeah.
Nope, tonight's
There it is now.
starring Lloyd Bridges.
Oh, Lloyd Bridges.
Looks like I picked the wrong day to quit sniffing glue.
Now, didn't his son was on Different Strokes? Todd Bridges?
Yeah, that was the one. The one when he
Well, this show is in black
where he
and
had
white.
an affair with his. Never mind. Yeah.
I just wondered.
Gonna get us into trouble.
You know what? You come over here. I want to just see how it will be in the future. You take over. You got to be better than that trivia guy. Take over, and let's see what kind of chemistry you can develop. Let's give it a shot, you know? Like in the old days, give it a shot, kid. Go ahead, kid. You can do it, Rock. Go let him take over. You go ahead. You guys banter. Do some witty banter.
What's the name of tonight's movie there, Zaxter?
Rocketship. XM.
Well, at least it didn't say Rocketshipxm Serious. Can we say that? Anyway, let him come after us. Anyway, tonight we'll be taking you to our first of probably 3 or 4 shows from Monster Bash. That's right, Monster Bash in beautiful Pittsburgh.
We're going to Mars.
We went out there. That's right. We're going to Mars, Pennsylvania, and boy, all kinds of wonderful and fascinating people there. We've got John Savage was there.
John Saxon.
Saxon.
John Savage would have been cool.
No wonder he
I
gave
love
you
John
your
Savage.
interview.
We're sending him a copy of the show too. Yeah. Sorry about that, John.
6 copies.
John Saxon. Oh, I mean, we've got all kinds. John Saxon, the beautiful Pat Priest and Butch Patrick from the Munsters.
Oh, yeah.
The very lovely and seductive Veronica Carlson, famous from the Hammer movies.
She was seductive.
Got all kinds of fantastic and very special that you'll be seeing over the next few weeks. Interviews with all these people, and very special. We've got an interview with the daughter-in-law and granddaughter of Shemp Howard from the
cool.
Three Stooges.
That was cool.
So, plus many, many more. Too many to mention right now. But so, why don't we go to the first part of tonight's movie, Rocket Ship Sirius XM. You have to pay for it, though.
Oh,
if you know what I mean.
I oughta.
What? Are you threatening the child?
X minus 18 minutes.
Blood pressure slightly high. Nothing to be alarmed about, though. Quite understandable under the circumstance.
The weaker sex. The only one whose blood pressure is normal.
X minus 17 minutes.
With you in the assembly hall in another minute. Shall we go?
Good luck.
Thank you, Doctor, and good night.
X minus 16 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, every news service and newspaper is represented here tonight. And for your cooperation in the past, when complete secrecy was vital, we are grateful. However, I must make something clear. Although ours is not strictly a military project, a great deal of our research and knowledge falls within security regulations. Therefore, I must insist that you reveal only such information as appears in the authorized press release, which will be handed to you later. I'm sure that we can all recall the wild tales of the flying discs, flying saucers, spaceships, and who knows what imaginative creations. The press is to be commended for discounting, in most instances, these premature rumors, and so helping to minimize public apprehension. Tonight, you are invited here to witness an important event. You are all familiar with our previous work in sending robot missiles into space. That phase is at an end. Tonight, we will launch the first manned spaceship, the RXM, Rocketship Expedition Moon.
X minus 15 minutes.
Forever, man has dreamed of visiting the nearest of heavenly bodies. Some for adventurous, fantastic reasons. Others, like ourselves, because they visualized a successful lunar expedition as the first step toward practical interplanetary travel. Today, there is even the possibility that an unassailable base could be established on the moon to control world peace. I will now introduce to you the head of this expedition and his crew, Dr. Carl Ekstrom, designer of the RXM, and as you all know, one of the most brilliant physicists of the day, and an old friend. Dr. Lisa Van Horn, his most able co-worker and assistant, Doctor of Chemistry. Colonel Floyd Graham, pilot. Mr. Harry Chamberlain, astronomer, of the Mount Wilson and Palomar Observatory staffs. Mr. Chamberlain will serve as navigator. Major William Corrigan, engineer. I shall now ask Dr. Ekstrom to outline the flight plan for you. Carl?
X minus 14 minutes.
The distance between the Earth and the Moon at its closest proximity is 238,000 miles. We expect to cover this distance in approximately 48 hours. The first phase of our flight will be the ascent to an altitude of 300 miles. From the start, while we pass through the troposphere and stratosphere, until we reach the ionosphere, the flight will be controlled by our automatic pilot. After we have climbed through the atmosphere, we will turn the rocket into a parallel course with the surface of the Earth. In flying parallel with the Earth's surface, we receive added boost from its rotation.
X minus 13 minutes.
The RXM is what is known as a multi-stage or step rocket. Upon reaching escape velocity, the tail section, which has housed the fuel to attain this speed, will be jettisoned. The nose section, which is a complete rocket containing enough fuel for the entire trip and also containing our cabin, overcomes the gravitational pull of the Earth and heads in the direction of the Moon. After we have passed the equilibrium point where the Earth and the Moon's gravities are in balance, we will reduce power to a minimum. The Moon's attraction will carry us the rest of the way. Finally, we will reverse the rocket, utilizing the thrust of its motors to make our landing. A few more details which might interest you. The cabin is pressurized and gyro-controlled, keeping us in a level position at all times. We carry radar for navigation, shortwave for communication, and most important, more than twice the amount of fuel we expect to use to keep well within the margin of safety.
X minus 12 minutes.
We still have a few moments, ladies and gentlemen, for questions, if any of you care to put them.
Mr. Chamberlain, how do you fit into the picture? Do you have any family? No, I've been living on mountaintops. I'm afraid it's too lonely for such opportunities.
Have you ever done any flying?
Only as a passenger.
But you're the navigator.
But you must realize that intersolar flight requires far more exact and precise navigation than any earthbound voyage.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that's incidental.
It is?
Yes. You see, as an astronomer, I can appreciate the perfect observation conditions on a body without atmosphere, such as our moon. Do you realize that within 1 hour...
I've got about 800 head grazing down there. I bought my ranch with the flight pay I saved up during the war.
Mm-hmm. How does your wife feel about you going?
Well, she's a Texan, too, and, well, she knows that when a Texas man makes up his mind to do something, that's it, period. Say, I wish you fellas could have seen her face, so when I walked in and told her, in the strictest confidence, of course, honey, I'm going to the moon.
What did she say?
Well, she looked at me for a second and then said, what for? They ain't got nothing there that we don't have more of right here in Texas.
We've already made the trip 100 times.
What?
In the training room. Yeah, I've done more flying this last month than I've done over 100 missions. And believe me, this is the hottest crew I've ever worked with, especially in the brains department.
Yeah, very attractive, too.
Yeah, I agree. But you can quote me on this. Unless you look like a test tube or a chemical formula, you haven't got a chance.
From the woman's angle, Dr. Van Horn, how does it feel making a trip like this alone with 4 men?
To tell you the truth, I never thought much about it.
Well, tell me, Doctor, is there any specific reason why one member of the crew should be a woman?
I'd like to answer that, if I may.
Certainly.
The reason Miss Van Horn is making this trip is because of her pioneering research with monatomic hydrogen. It enabled her to develop the first rocket fuel, powerful and concentrated enough to make this flight possible.
X minus 11 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pressed for time. You may view the takeoff from the observation bunker and return to this room immediately afterward. Everybody return here after the takeoff.
Oh, wow, man, this is a great chance to get an interview with... Hey, how are you doing today? I noticed you were, every year you're here at the Monster Bash. How you doing today? Thank you very much for... Hey, did you ever see my co-host, Dave? I was kind of noticing that your hair kind of reminds me of his, but his is like a lot longer. Yeah, I think he had a little work done on him, too. Yeah, I noticed his like eyes. Your eyes kind of look strange, like evil, just like my co-host's eyes. I don't know. Do you get your suit done at a special place? Dave's got this goofy suit he wears with his bow tie. I don't know why he thinks he is. Hey, easy, big guy. I was just kidding. You look great. You look great. All right.
Who knew that it worked? Hey everybody, we are out here at Monster Bash in Pittsburgh, and let me tell you what, I told you there were a lot of fascinating people out here, but I'll tell you, I've just come across one of my favorite childhood actors of my entire life. We all grew up with the Munsters. I think you recognize Butch Patrick, Eddie Munster. How are you, Mr. Patrick?
I'm fine, and the fascinating people will follow.
Really, where? Have we found anything else?
They're having dinner.
They're having dinner? Yes. What? You're back? Get out. Stay back there. If you got something, I tell you, people of my generation, this is my childhood. This is my childhood. What was it like growing up with such an iconic? Well, now, what was it like back then? I mean, was it as much of a part of American culture then as it has become over the years?
Well, it was a popular show, no doubt about that. But I don't think syndication didn't really exist back then, so right. A lot of shows you wouldn't know how they were going to stand up the test of time until they've been around for 50 years, like this show will be next year.
And just constantly on somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah. And then with the DVD, and they came out, and now people can, they can Netflix them or they YouTube them. But right. Yeah, they're around if you want them. The interesting thing that I found out about the show was I was a big Monsters fan, Universal Monsters, the Wolfman, the Creature, Black Lagoon, and the series was basically based on the Universal Monsters and turned them into. The show was done by the people that did Leave It to Beaver, and they took a family situation and turned it into a monster, lovable monster family, and to great success, I might add.
It certainly was, and I mean, just to this day, there isn't anybody out there who doesn't know who the Munsters are. I tell you, it's just such a classic, and I tell you, some of the greatest actors of all time, Fred Gwynne.
Fred and Al were very funny. They came from Car 54, Where Are You?, which was a very successful show out of New York.
And Yvonne DiCarlo.
Yvonne DiCarlo, one of the major movie stars of the 40s and 50s, very beautiful woman. Sephora in The Ten Commandments. She was actually probably the biggest name in the show. I mean, Yvonne DiCarlo was a bona fide movie star doing television long before Liz Taylor did General Hospital.
Before it was a thing for movie stars to get into TV. Because TV was looked down upon, I think, don't you think?
Yeah, we were like the second-class citizens of entertainment. Television was beneath movie stars.
Yeah, that's such a shame because there's so many American institutions that came out of classic TV shows. What I did not realize, and one of my all-time favorite shows when I was a kid, was Lidsville, the spinoff from H&R Puff and stuff. I did not remember that you were in that. I had no idea. How did you get into that?
Actually, they had pursued me. I wasn't really too crazy about doing a Saturday morning show. I thought it was beneath me at the time. And I went back to high school. I was a senior in high school, and I told my classmates, I said, there's this show called Lidsville they want me to do, and it's by the same people that did Puff and Stuff and the Bugaloos. And the deciding factor was Marty Krofft kept calling me, and then I finally figured out most of my friends would be asleep on Saturday morning, and they would never see it.
So then you wouldn't have to deal with that.
I would take the paycheck, and then as it turned out, it became a very popular show. But working with Charles Nelson Riley and Billy Hayes and the Krofft people was a very good time, and I knew most of the little people that were in the hats because they had been my stand-ins over the years, so half the people on the show I already knew, and that made it fun.
Classic stuff.
It really
just
was.
Absolutely classic stuff. Whenever I come across it, I just came across an H.R. Puff and Stuff on TV the other day. I mean, I know you can watch anything just about that you ever want to somewhere, but I haven't crossed into the 21st century completely yet. So when I see things that I haven't seen sometimes for decades, it's just like, oh wow, where did that come from? I got to see that again, and it was just so neat to see.
Well, it was such a flagship show of the '60s. The whole Krofft camp. But the '60s. I was lucky enough to do, I call them escapism shows that had no bearing in real life. My Favorite Martian, I Dream of Jeannie. Let me see, what else did I do? My Favorite I Dream of Jeannie. There was a couple others. I'm drawing a blank for. Oh, Mr. Eds. Mr. Eds. I did 2 Mr. Eds. Things like that were just pure entertainment value. And then I was lucky enough to work with the Monkees, and I worked with Chuck Jones on a movie, his only feature film.
Okay.
So in that one 10-year period, I was lucky enough to do 4 series. I did The Real McCoys for a year. I did the first year of General Hospital.
Oh, wow.
Did the 17 episodes of My 3 Sons, Lidsville, and so I was a busy guy.
Remember all that.
Yeah.
Remember all that. What a blast.
It was,
what a
it was
blast.
a good time.
A lot of stories, I would imagine.
Yeah, imagine you're a 12-year-old kid and you're exploring the universe a lot. Whenever you're not needed on the set, you can go do anything you want and go anywhere you like, and go to the lab with the makeup, the Westmore camp, or go see the special effects, or go to the back lot and go see the McHale's Navy at the lagoon.
Yeah.
It was great stuff.
That's great. That's fantastic. Well, McHale's Navy, Tim Conway's from Cleveland.
Is he?
Yes, he
Funny
is.
guy, one of the best.
Right, he is, absolutely. Well, hey, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. I really do. It has been a very big honor for me to meet you. It really takes me back to my childhood, and it's great.
Well, thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much. I hope
and you too.
Yeah, I'm back here.
I'm back here.
By the way, his name's Rich.
Yeah. We talked a couple years ago.
He's not really that important. Just just smile and nod. Nothing. All right, why don't you go back to whatever awful movie we're showing, and we'll find somebody else that we can annoy.
X minus 7 minutes.
Gyro control and compass okay.
Battery's all up, autopilot's okay, everything's in order.
Let's go. I've checked these calculations many times. They're perfectly correct. Oh, yes, all commercial flights have been detoured 100 miles south.
Thank you. Well, I can't think of anything we've overlooked. All we need now is a little luck.
It doesn't seem real that the moment finally has arrived after all these years.
Has been a long time.
A long time for 2 men to work together.
You remember when we started, what they called us?
Young crackpots.
Yes, and what are we now? Maybe just crackpots.
The only regret I have is that I must stay behind.
Your job is no less important, Robert.
I know, but still...
X minus 6 minutes.
Carl, good luck. Good luck, everybody.
X minus 5 minutes.
Better take one more look. We won't be as close as this to Mother Earth for some time.
We'll give the motors a final once-over.
X minus 4 minutes.
Motor room sealed.
Everything in order.
X minus 3 minutes.
No change in flight plans discussed. First 7 minutes of flight, controlled by automatic pilot.
Pilot's ready.
7 minutes, straight ascent.
Straight ascent from starting point.
Starting thrust using all tail assembly engines, 2,300 tons.
Right.
Fuel mixture?
Hydrogen and oxygen plus A12. After 120 seconds, hydrogen and oxygen plus A14. After 340 seconds, hydrogen plus A16.
After 560 seconds, A16.
Right.
Any questions?
X minus 2 minutes.
Good luck.
X minus 1 minute. X minus 50 seconds. X minus 40 seconds. X minus 30 seconds. X minus 20 seconds. X minus 10 seconds. X minus 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Now, if you'll follow me, we will attempt to establish radio contact with the ship.
human body can withstand these accelerations. But it certainly was never meant to.
I feel like I was just tossed off a spooky bronc.
Are you all right, Doctor?
Oh, yes, can't hurt an old campaigner like me.
How about you? You all right?
Certainly.
Radar and gyro compass in order.
Automatic pilot okay.
Fuel consumption?
Normal.
Air pressure?
15 pounds.
Harry.
It's a marvelous sight, isn't it?
It is.
You can study maps and globes and try to visualize. But the actual experience, it's hard to express it.
Stand by to turn. Stand by. 4, 3, 2, turn.
Degree turn completed. Shipping level flight speed 3,400 miles per hour.
Altitude 360 miles.
How do we stand on fuel now?
3/10 supply left in tail section.
Mixture at present?
A16.
Harry, contact the base.
Right. RXM, calling BWS. RXM, calling BWS. Over.
Come in, RXM. Over to you.
Stand by, BWS.
Ekstrom speaking. We have leveled off at 360 miles altitude and are circling the globe at 3,400 miles per hour. We will increase speed gradually until we reach escape velocity of 25,000 miles per hour. Everyone aboard ship, well. Over to you.
We'll be standing by.
5,500 miles.
Continue acceleration.
Hey, what happened to the rest of the night?
I'm afraid we ran right out of it.
If it's darkness you want, wait till we enter outer space, the realm of perpetual night.
6,000. 6,200 miles per hour.
Radar is tracking them perfectly.
I had contact with them 4 minutes ago. Altitude 1,600 miles, speed 21,000 miles per hour, constantly increasing. They are about to reach escape velocity.
22,000.
Bill, check the pressurizing system and oxygen.
Right. Boy, this kind of weather makes me feel right at home. It's like a nice, cool night in East Texas.
24,000.
Take a reading the moment we attain escape velocity.
Yes.
Stand by. 25,000.
Prepare to jettison tail section.
Start the front assembly motors. Only 40 seconds supply of fuel left.
Hold on tight, everybody.
You ready?
Ready. Go.
Reduce power. That was a little too close for comfort.
We might be in a vacuum, but I sure felt the wind of that one.
Harry, contact the base again.
RXM calling BWS. Over.
Come in, RXM. Over to you.
Stand by, BWS.
We're on our way. We have jettisoned tail section and are now reducing power and speed according to plan until we come within the attraction of the moon. This probably last radio contact before return flight. Everybody aboard well.
BWS calling RXM. BWS calling RXM. Come in, RXM.
Ladies and gentlemen, we had hoped by having the entire press represented here tonight to eliminate any possible hearsay, rumor, or speculation from your reports. However, I regret to have to ask you to confine yourselves to the official news release. I promise to hand you any news that may come in as soon as it can be cleared.
Hey everybody, we are out here at Monster Bash in suburban Pittsburgh, and not only is it Monster Bash, but it's Munster Bash out here at the Monster Bash. We've already talked to Butch Patrick, although depending upon how Rocco edits this, maybe we haven't yet. But anyway, we are also talking to the absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, and ever-talented Pat Priest, who played Marilyn Munster. Look at you. You are not an old lady. Look at her. You are absolutely gorgeous. You look fantastic, and I still see you. I look at you and I see the Marilyn that I saw when I was a kid. It was absolutely wonderful. You're beautiful.
Well,
you look
know
wonderful.
what? I'm glad it brought you some good memories, because it brought me a lot of very good memories.
Well, that's good to hear. I like to hear that, because sometimes you hear stories about old TV shows that the people's experiences weren't so good. Was it the best time of your life, or one of the anyway?
Yes, absolutely. We became a family personally as well as professionally.
That's great.
And there were never any fights or arguments or disagreements.
No big egos battling for anything, huh? You all got along? That's fantastic. And because there was so much talent in that group. I mean, you and Butch, and then you had Al and Erman, Fred Gwynn and Devon DeCarlo, one of the biggest movie stars of the time. Wow, and that was unusual. We remember talking about that with Butch, and saying how unusual it was for big movie stars to stoop so low as to do lowly television.
And Uncle Herman, after the show was over, he would not even stand by Al. Now, they were great friends, but wouldn't sign any autographs or anything, because he did not want any identity with the Munsters, because he felt that he portrayed a cartoon character, and he wanted to be remembered as a serious actor. And I thought that was such an award-winning performance.
Oh, it was great.
I know.
It was great. I mean, come on.
Of course, he was great in Cousin Vinny, too.
Oh, sure. He was great in everything that he did.
This was such a departure.
But it was so much fun. Okay.
And we had fun.
Well, and it looked like you did too. The 50s and the 60s was the era of what you might call fluff TV. But you know what? We need escapism. We need something to get away from everything. You know what? And this was this kind of thing. This was classic way of doing it. It was so much fun.
And you know what's nice about coming out to these shows is you never know how fans perceive you and the show until you come out and they start talking, and they'll say, I remember when our family was all together, and I come home from school. So it brought very good memories for them, and I don't think we have that anymore.
Not as much anyway.
Well, you know what? We have more of a technological society, and so
really. I don't know a whole lot about that, so I'll take your word for it.
Neither do I. I don't do computer. I do phone. I don't do texting.
But you've got one of these though, right? Or are you still on a landline?
Oh no! I have.
You've got one of these.
Yes.
Okay.
But
well.
it's a flip phone.
Oh well, that's fine. That'll work. That'll work.
And they tell me I can take a picture with it, but I don't know. And what's more, I don't want to know.
You don't care? No. Well, that's
No.
good. Well, anymore though, it's like you really have to have a cell phone with you because you can't find a payphone anymore anywhere.
No,
they don't exist.
That's true. I do believe in that technology, and for research and all kinds of things, computers are great. But this is my own personal feeling. I think that the very technology that has brought us so far and advanced us so far in this world will also be the technology that destroys us.
Well, you can't have it all, I guess, right?
No, we gotta go sometime.
We all gotta go sometime. Nobody lives forever.
No.
But I tell you, it's an absolute joy to meet you because
thank you.
At these and it's so neat to see that you can turn on the TV and still watch this if you've never seen it before. You can still get new fans.
I don't look like this. And
you're pretty close.
50. It's been 50 years.
Pretty close. I mean, look at that. Look at that.
Oh.
Look at that. And then come over here. Look at these eyes.
Right.
Look at these eyes. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Do you not see the same face there?
There's a few pounds.
Hey, you know what?
A few wrinkles.
Hey, you know what? We all get
and
there.
Gravity has gotten me.
Those eyes are still beautiful crystal ice blue. That's all I. That's what I know.
You have very pretty blue eyes also. We're the blondes.
But it is so great to see you out here. I'm so glad that you made the trip to come out here.
And thank you for stopping by.
Thank you very much.
Chatting with me.
Well, thank you for taking the time.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily everyone's cup of tea, so sometimes I rub people the wrong way.
Well, I like tea,
But,
so we're in good company.
Hey, get us some tea, will ya? We've got an order here. All right. Well, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the show.
You bet.
And continued success.
Dave, it's just been great.
Any thoughts of getting back into the acting gig?
Oh, do you know, Dave, I live in Idaho.
Beautiful.
And yes. There comes a point in life when you give up quantity of life for quality
of life.
And that's where I am. I come out and do the shows, but to work in Hollywood and be available, you've got to be available for interviews and everything. And with traveling the way it is now, I'm not going to fly in for an interview.
You're over it.
I'll come out and do the shows, and that's wonderful, and that's great. I probably couldn't remember my lines anyway.
What lines?
But although they have them all on cue cards.
That's right.
No, not cue cards. See how that they.
That's right. Now they're all on prompters. That's right.
But when I first started in television, we had cue cards, and we had to make up our own cue cards.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So, but now,
I guess I don't feel so bad.
That was a long time ago.
Well, not as long ago as you might think. I still remember it, and I guess I'm getting old.
Oh no, do you know what? You're probably younger than my oldest son. But I won't ask you, but I have an older son.
Some people age better than others.
Who's that? Is anyone around?
What was that?
Yeah.
Anyway, well, thank you again.
Oh,
really appreciate
my pleasure,
it. It's been wonderful.
My
Pat
pleasure.
Priest from the Munsters.
Thank you.
We're out here at Munster Bash at Monster Bash. You go back to the movie. We'll see who else we can annoy. There's got to be somebody around here that we can bother.
Don't think I like all this dark. Well, it might be all right for sleeping, but for a steady diet,
I used to hate the daylight because I couldn't work. But up here in this eternal night, it's a different feeling.
Fella can get used to anything, I guess, if he has to. Now, I remember when I was first assigned to jets. I said to the colonel, "Colonel, I joined this man's Air Force to fly an airplane. But nobody's going to hitch me to no Roman candle. Now I'm sitting right inside of one. Boy, oh boy. Ain't she pretty? Can you see Texas?
No, it's in the other hemisphere. Even so, from this distance, it would only appear a mere speck.
A mere speck? Texas a mere speck? Oh, now, listen, my friend, I'm broad-minded. I've been around people, but don't you ever let any other Texan hear you say that. A mere speck.
It's the funniest sensation. I feel like I'm walking in a cloud, no effort at all.
We're getting deeper and into planetary space. Gravity will soon be practically non-existent.
Look, we got a stowaway aboard.
Hey, whoa. I need you.
Don't you think it's amusing?
There's nothing funny about that. Simply the lack of gravity.
Oh, of course, Dr. Van Horn.
Better make sure our equipment's fastened down.
Now, don't get mad at me, but can't you ever relax? All these weeks, months, I've been watching you. Nothing but work, work, work. You know, I've been wondering, how does a girl like you get mixed up in a thing like this in the first place?
I suppose you think that women should only cook and sew and bear children?
Isn't that enough? There's such a thing as going overboard in the other direction, too, you know. If you know what's I'll check the engines.
Bill, pressurize the motor room first.
Motor room pressure up.
Still drifting.
After 14 hours and 12 minutes, we've covered 112,000 miles. We'll come within the gravitational attraction of the moon.
Oh, that's not important right now. Without power, we're helplessly suspended in space. Even if we were already within the gravitational reach, we'd still be unable to make a landing. We need power to land.
Checked and double-checked all connections. Primers, fuel injectors. Can't find a thing wrong.
And it must be the fuel mixture.
How much oxygen do we carry?
Don't worry. We have plenty left for the trip.
For the trip as planned, you mean?
If you don't mind. At differential 6 over m to the 30th power, the halfway check result is 262,000 to 341,000, both using tangent E, correct?
That isn't the result I have.
It must be the same. There's an error there.
I've made no error, Dr. Ekstrom.
I have to say that you made an error and discard your figures. I'm sorry.
Don't be.
Surely you're not going to let emotion enter into this.
Certainly not.
We'll continue computing using my results as a basis.
Yes, Doctor. Except that I feel very strongly, I should say, that we should try both.
We can't. To complete either calculation would take 6 to 8 hours. We can't afford the time. It's either one or the other, Dr. Van Horn.
But it doesn't have to be. You can't be arbitrary about imposing your will when these people's lives are at stake. Don't you realize that? You speak as calmly as if you were saying, pass the salt. Aren't you human? Are you made of ice? I'm sorry. I apologize.
For what? For momentarily being a woman? It's completely understandable, Miss Van Horn. Now, shall we go ahead?
Yes, Doctor.
Tangent L9.
Tangent L9.
Hello? Yes?
It's Dr. Hurley at Mount Palomar.
Yes, Dr. Hurley? Yes? We located the RXM's position at 7:16 this morning. Since then, there has been very little change. Apparently, their velocity is far lower than we anticipated.
Are you sure, Doctor? Thank you.
Wind that blows between the worlds. It cut him like a knife.
What?
Oh, nothing. It's a line from Kipling's Tomlinson. The poem about the chap, someone in our fix. He couldn't get into heaven or hell. Suspended in space.
Would you do something for me, please?
Sure.
I need those 2 graphs under Dr. Ekstrom's arm. I'm tired and shaky. I might awaken him.
I know the feeling.
I wouldn't rob him of his sleep for anything.
I knocked over a 10-foot Christmas tree once, all decorated, my cousin's house, just from trying to do something when I was too tired. So about 1 o'clock in the morning, kids woke up, came rushing in. First they thought I was Santa Claus lying there with a busted tinsel star on my nose. I spoiled everything.
Thanks.
It's no trouble. Why don't you take a minute off from that? You're worn out.
I can't.
You'll think clearer if you do. When I was flying in the war, we had a guy like you in some of our long missions. Too bad.
Too bad?
Blew his top. We had to put him in Section 8. Held it in too long, never let down a second.
You're right. I'm not even thinking straight anymore. Numbers buzz in my head like wasps. I ought to think of something different.
How about that? Something no human being ever saw before.
You know, it's funny. One never thinks of the Earth that way. as a dying planet with nothing to give out but reflected light. A mere moon.
Don't speak so disrespectfully of the moon. Mere moon. I've done some of my best work by moonlight. Found its light very effective.
For navigation?
For any purpose. Don't underrate it. Moonlight's potent.
You're speaking of its effect on men and women?
On women. I don't need this stuff myself.
Oh, you're immune.
No? Just don't need it. But did you ever park in an open convertible on the cliffs overlooking the Pacific on a warm summer night when a big moon hung up there like a lantern? The blue light from it walking across the water. Radio playing a nice tune. Waves whooshing on the beach.
No, perhaps unfortunately, I never had the time nor the thought to do anything much beyond my profession.
Now, don't tell me that you never looked at that old moon except for astronomical reasons.
You're right. I have. In Rome once, and in Switzerland, at Lake Lugano. What a nice stroll.
Stroll?
Yes. Yes, we walked slowly around the edge of the lake for 2 hours.
And never stopped?
No.
Well, everybody to his own taste.
It was lovely there. The water black like cold coffee. The moonlight like flecks of ice cream floating on it. The music from the hotel ballroom. Oh, but that was so long ago. Another world. Fine scientist I am. Daydreaming.
It's good for you once in a while.
I suppose it is, but not now.
I still say it.
Say what?
That moonlight's effective stuff.
You're quite right.
What effect a double dose like this would have in a convertible? Nothing. Skip it.
Meteorites!
I've been through some pretty heavy flak in my day, but that's the worst I've ever had thrown at me. Heavenly flak. Say, maybe somebody don't want us to get where we aim to get. Oh, cheer up, Harry. After what we've been through, we'll get there all right.
Maybe it'd have been better if one of them had struck the ship. At least have been sudden. Quick.
Oh, look. It certainly is.
All right. It's like I'm inside a washing machine. Wait, here, let me agitate you.
You've been doing that for the last 5 minutes.
It's what I do.
Well, you do it well. I'm a bad boy. Come over here.
All right. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Now, your computation?
We have to add 12% O3 to A16.
Right. 12% O3 to A16. This means we'll have to rearrange some of the fuel tanks and all the connections. I will replace these H tanks with these.
The motor room's pressurized.
Think you can manage a half-ton tank?
Oh, sure. Down on my ranch, Used to throw a little old 1,000-pound steer over my shoulder every morning.
Sure that wasn't a little old bull you were throwing. All right, Sampson, let's see you do your stuff.
Think I was kidding, huh?
You'll never prove it to me here.
Doctor, can we be quite sure these proportions are safe? We never proved them by experiment.
The mathematical theory is beyond question.
03, though. Sometimes it behaves unpredictably.
Woman's intuition again?
12% 03 to A16.
12% 03 to A16.
Our chart deviation is 32 degrees. Present position is...
We'll correct course when we're in powered flight once more.
Right.
All ready?
Ready. Stand by, everybody.
Repeat that again, Dr. Hurley. Are you certain? Yes. Yes, I see. Thank you. They are completely off their course. Moving with incredible velocity. Out into limitless space. I can't understand it.
Floyd. Floyd. Floyd.
You all right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all right. Harry. Harry.
We're not getting enough oxygen.
Phil. Phil. Dr. Ekstrom. Dr. Ekstrom. Dr. Ekstrom.
How long has it been since...
I'm afraid we'll never know.
How are the others?
I think everybody's going to be all right.
It must have been days.
Fortunately, the engines were turned off.
When?
I must have turned the levers off when I blacked out.
But at what speed? You know the consequences of a body moving with unchecked velocity in free space.
Infinite motion.
So we made a little detour. Now we gotta double back to that last road sign. Come on, let's go to work.
Try to determine our present velocity if possible.
Can't be. The instruments must have gone crazy.
I don't think so. By heading into space, we've added the Earth's orbital velocity to our own.
Then we're really moving.
I should say at least several times the maximum speed of your indicator. Any progress, Harry?
Should at least have an approximation of our position very shortly.
Fuel consumption?
In just a moment.
Doctor.
What?
I cut in resistances to raise the scale. But look.
Acceleration. Definite acceleration, but the motor's off. That's impossible unless...
This can't be correct.
What?
I seem to be getting a strong reflection of impulse directly ahead, 50,000 miles.
That explains it.
Explains what?
Of course. Unbelievable. It couldn't be mere chance. I don't quite know how to tell you it, so... If I could have even dreamed that an incredible set of circumstances, each precisely and exactly timed, would carry us unerringly through space to our most congenial planetary neighbor, Mars, I would...
Mars?
It's utterly unbelievable.
No doubt whatsoever. Unmistakable.
Mars? What do you know?
What does it mean, Doctor?
It means there are times when a mere scientist has gone as far as he can. When he must pause and observe respectfully while something infinitely greater assumes control. I believe this is one of those times.
We shall go on, of course.
Our overall fuel consumption was
42%.
a Martian landing. Approaching a planet with atmosphere is far easier than the lunar maneuver. Certainly we shall go on. We should be betraying an unprecedented opportunity to do otherwise.
Then I'd suggest there's a couple of little things we might do. This ship isn't going to land itself, you know.
Mark. I'll be darned. We must first compute the correct thrust and fuel mixture to comply with anticipated conditions.
Escape velocity, 12,500 miles an hour. Oxygen at surface level, 15%.
Prepare to change the parallel course at distance 1,500 miles.
Right.
I've located them.
Located what?
The Earth and Moon.
Well, where are they?
Here, take a look.
And what do you know about that?
Is it all right to call Texas a mirspec now?
As we are now in parallel flight, we are reducing speed and altitude. At 50 miles altitude, we will execute a turn of 90 degrees, bringing the rocket into landing position. Since the gravitational attraction of Mars is only half as powerful as that of Earth, a thrust of 1,200 tons will be sufficient to make the landing. Fuel?
Hydrogen and oxygen plus A12.
Altitude 70 miles. 65. 60. 55 miles.
Stand by to turn.
50.
Turn.
Degree turn completed.
Reduce power.
Altitude 40 miles. 38 miles.
I only hope the light holds out. It's getting dark down below. Prepare to increase thrust at altitude 15 miles. It's getting darker rapidly. As far as I can make out, the terrain is suitable for landing.
Altitude 6 miles. 5 miles. 20,000 feet. 18,000.
Thrust at present, 1,250 tons.
Stand by to increase power.
15,000. 12,000. 10,000. 8,000. 7,000. 6,000.
We're losing altitude too fast. Increase thrust to 3,000 tons.
4,000 feet. 3,000. 2,000 feet.
Reduce thrust slowly to 1,250 tons.
1,000. 500.
Save the engines. Nice work, Floyd. Mars extending us a welcome. Now we're prepared to disembark first thing in the morning. In the meantime, we can rest and get our equipment ready.
Well, that's what I've been waiting for. Yeah, I've been itching to get into one of these things.
Sorry to disappoint you, Bill. We have atmosphere here. We won't need pressure suits. Which works greatly in our favor, too. We can accomplish so much more unencumbered. As far as equipment's concerned, we'll take oxygen masks, camera, paraphernalia.
What about data for the return trip? It must be exact and precise. Hadn't we better begin preparation?
Yes, of course, you're right. We have so little time here. Such an opportunity. Let's think about that for a little while first.
Are you bored at your current job? Are you in a dead-end, go-nowhere position? Well, here at the Poughkeepsie School of Broadcasting and Taxidermy, we can show you the skills that will put you in demand in today's high-tech entertainment industry. Let's see what our students are learning today.
Anybody know what this does?
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, you, we got a fatted calf coming in here. Let's get that stuff tonight. Hey, would you guys get busy? I mean, I'm supposed to be teaching you. This isn't like summer school or something.
Oh, you're the teacher?
All right, who threw that?
Bobby!
Hey, you, get up here and stuff this thing. We need this back by Miss Simpson by 9.
Who is Miss Simpson? Does she know
Would
how to do
you
this?
concentrate on your work? You signed up for this. You want to learn something, don't you?
Kinda. It would help if I knew what I was doing.
Well, you don't. That's why you're here. Oh, who stole the mannequin? Did you finish that?
Does the mannequin know how to do this?
What are these?
Oh, I wish I knew what I was doing.
I have the time. I gotta eat.
Eat. Good. That'll help.
Are you done editing that film?
Yeah, 'cause I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Can you help me know what I'm doing?
No. I gotta teach this class. Oh, it's perfect. That's perfect. Get your foot off there.
Yes, at the Poughkeepsie School of Broadcasting and Taxidermy, you'll soon be on your way to a high-tech career in TV. Call now. Hey everybody, we are out here at the Monster Bash Horror Convention in beautiful suburban Pittsburgh. Yes, at Cranberry Township, actually.
Mars.
Mars.
We're in Mars.
We're on Mars. We're in Mars.
Is that where they make the chocolate, right?
Venus,
Mars bars?
Mars are for men. Mars is, never mind. Wasn't Venus
Me, Venus? Never
Venus
mind. No,
flytrap?
I don't know. But anyway, we're out here at the start of the Monster Bash Monster Convention out here, and I'll tell you what, there are all kinds of neat things going on out here. The dealer's room in there have all kinds of great merchandise in there for sale, and out here in the main hallway, we have all kinds of fascinating actors, artists, producers, directors,
Really?
all kinds of things. Nobody that would
Can I
be
get a job that pays?
Nobody that would be interested in your work. Anyway, what you saw right here, there was some original hand-drawn animation from the man himself, Rick Catazone. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Occasionally, I get it right. Who was the official animator for Creepshow, both 1 and 2, right? And for the Evil Dead series of movies. That's right.
Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2? Oh, just the Evil Dead 2. Well, that was the best one.
Thank you.
That was the best one.
Hey, you don't forget, he also did episode of Xenia, Princess Warrior, right?
Yes, I did.
His microphone's dead, right?
My microphone's dead. What do you give me a dummy
Just
microphone?
talk.
Well, he did episode of Xenia, Princess Warrior, but I'm most excited because he worked on one of our movies that we show, The Night of the Living Dead.
Ooh.
Uncredited.
Really? You didn't get any credit for working on Night of the Living Dead?
The company got a credit.
The company got credit. Oh, so and because your work became property of the company.
Well, it's not that. It was just you did the company name. You know, you didn't put every individual back then.
Well, hey, obviously you certainly came out of that with a name of yourself of your own out of that, and that is definitely one of our favorite movies. Obviously, because it's public domain, so we can afford to show it.
I don't think it's public domain, but okay.
Night of the Living Dead?
Oh, shit. Well, we don't.
Night of the Living.
Different topic.
Oh.
We don't show that then.
All right, then hush. No, we won't talk about it.
Not that
But anyway, so how did you get into animating for this?
Well, on these films, I mean, we were in the same building as George Romero, and I had been in animation for quite a while. And the opportunity came up, and
So you just kind of passed each other at the water cooler one day, and you were like, "Hey, I'm an animator. Hey, I'm a movie maker, and let's get together."
Well, we did animation on some of George's commercials or title work and things, and then whenever it came time to do the features and stuff, when the Creepshow came along, they needed a creep, and they also needed to animate the comic book pages turning because the live action footage was so hard to get it to do it in timing and be on the right frame, and it's very difficult.
Did they actually try to do that in real life? They tried to do that.
There were reels of it.
Well, hey, there's a collector's item if you could get your hands on that, wouldn't it be? So
he's also a professor now. Am I not correct?
Yes.
He's a professor.
What do you teach?
Mostly animation, but also sculpting and life drawing.
So right here in Pittsburgh? Oh, fantastic. What school?
Art Institute of Pittsburgh.
Art Institute of Pittsburgh. I actually have heard of it.
And did you know, he's a great animator, but did you know he's an awesome sculptor? And did you know that he worked on the chest piece and the feet, right, for Fluffy from Creepshow? Is that
And
not
the
right?
hands.
And the hands. I know a few things about this guy. I follow. I'm a stalker. Yeah, that's right.
Well, that's true. He is a stalker. You have to be careful. Yeah, always keep security at arm's reach. Anyway, well, I tell you what, some of these were favorite movies of mine growing up. Creepshow is one of my all-time favorite movies from when I was a teenager, and whenever it comes on, I still look for it because that was. Shut up.
Good work. It's a classic.
It really is. It really is. And there were some really good people in that. That was a star-studded movie too. Some great ones. So do we see anything new in the movie business for you on the horizon?
No, I haven't done any new movies. No, mostly it's teaching and animation for the Pirates scoreboard and some other projects, but commercials.
Very good. Well, keeping busy anyway. Yeah, for the Pirates.
Oh, and the Penguins.
Oh, and the Penguins.
For the Penguins.
Okay.
You know that, yeah.
I know it has something to do with it must be cold. Something with ice.
Ice, baby.
Well, thank you for clarifying that for me. Well, anyway, so there you have it. There are all kinds of interesting people out here. If you missed it, don't forget you can come down here next year. I think they've already got it scheduled for near the end of June next year, so keep it on your calendar, and we'll keep you updated. But anyway, we're going to go around and see what other fascinating people we can annoy.
guys have way too much fun.
Look at the rock formations ahead. Notice the abundant coloration? Green, orange, yellow, black.
A sign of tremendous mineralization.
Manganese, copper, nickel, pitch blende. Immense deposits of pitch blende.
You figuring on staking out a claim here? Just making sure we can find our way back.
All we've seen so far is rock and sand, sand and rocks. I wonder when we're going to run across some of these Martians. You know, from what I read, they've got pale faces and pinheads and fishy eyes.
Shall we go? mankind to conceive this must have been of a high order of intelligence. At least the equal of Earth, perhaps considerably above ours.
To think that a complex, organized society existed here once.
Yes, from all indications, thousands of years ago.
I wonder how it happened.
There's always the possibility of a meteor. But then it would have created a depression like a moon crater.
No, this wasn't caused by a meteor. This is definitely blast effect coupled with intense heat.
There's a strong field of radiation over there.
You'd better stop. The radioactivity is at the danger level. Ironic, isn't it? The mind of man, wherever you encounter it, Earth or Mars, the highest attainments of human intellect, always diverted to self-destruction. Perhaps the entire surface of the planet is one vast ruin, like this.
Well, do you think we ought to start back for the ship?
I agree to that. We're neither prepared nor equipped for any stay here.
We have supplies for several days. Let's use this precious time as effectively as we can.
I agree with Dr. Ekstrom. A day here is more valuable than years of research on Earth.
Well, okay then, let's get going.
What a lesson here for our world. One blast, thousands of years of civilization wiped out.
Could there have been any survivors?
I should hate to think so. We still don't know all the genetic effects of radiation, but that it will produce mutations, malformities, disfigurements, blindness, that much we're sure of from research. A blast like this, I should hate to think that any survived.
Why don't you try to get some rest?
If I ever get back to Texas, I'll know better than to leave again. Yes, sir.
Bill. Morning, Dr. Ekstrom. There were men out there. Look, you gotta believe me. It wasn't a nightmare. I haven't slept at all. I tell you, I saw them.
Where?
Right out there. And when I yelled, they disappeared.
All right, let's go see.
Right here. And when they heard me, they disappeared in there.
Dr. Ekstrom, look at these footprints.
It don't take a Navajo to figure out what caused these.
It's hard to believe, but
Now maybe you'll agree to return to the ship.
we can't stop now. We must follow, find out what kind of creatures they are. It's tremendously important.
We don't know how many there are. And suppose they're hostile with one rifle and a pistol. We won't have a prayer.
That's the chance we have to take. You wait here. I'm going ahead.
This kind of thing's just my meat. Mind if I come along?
Thank you, Brent.
I'm with you, Doctor.
No, Floyd, you three stay.
But
I'll have to make that in order. Come on, Bill. Atomic age to stone age. Bill!
Dr. Ekstrom!
Where's Bill?
Murdering savages. No, Floyd. Poor, fear-crazed, despairing wretches. Pity them. Pity them.
Don't talk anymore.
You must get back to Earth. Tell them what we found. Maybe this will...
Look out!
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Hey,
Give me that, man.
I had it first.
You give me it. I'm taking the Pawn Stars. Like I'm Pawn Stars.
No, that's my challenge. I found it first. Leave it alone.
I'm an American picker, man. Give me that. I'm taking it and sell it at the gold place. I'll put it on eBay.
No, I'm going to put it on eBay.
Wait.
You can buy it for me.
Okay, you know what? Let's settle it like a gentleman. Rock, paper, scissors. What do you think?
Okay.
All right.
You let it go first.
No, you just.
Okay. All right.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Now, one question. How do you do rock, paper, scissors?
1, 2, 3, and then go, or?
Okay, rock.
Paper.
Scissors. Ha! All right. Hey!
No.
I'm going to take this down to American Registration.
No, that's mine.
Give me this, man.
I'm going to sell it on eBay.
You can't sell nothing. I want to sell it.
I know who made it. I know the manufacturer.
No, you don't. It's made in China. Are you from China?
No, but that doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, let me sell it.
I'm seeing that we're going to have some problems here.
Hey,
No, you're going over with that.
Hey, rock, paper, scissors.
Okay. That'll be the side trivia.
Hey, welcome back. We hope you're enjoying Rocketshipxm. Boy, what excitement. Going, trying to go to the moon and ended up going to Mars.
Microphone.
Kind of how I feel every week.
Goofed up. Whoa, I don't know.
In space.
You're an alien.
Trying to fix this kid up. There you go. Now, hey, give him, toss him a few, give him a couple volleys, see what I can do with it. Set him up with some stuff. Come on, you're a professional. Come on, help the new generation. You're as professional as we have.
If you've got something, we got to go.
I'm not even here. I'm observing. I'm trying to mold the future. Midnight Movie 2050.
Triv, do you realize what Rich is doing to your son?
It's my fault for bringing him down here to begin with.
What are you going to do? Anyway, the movie is coming to an exciting conclusion. It's time now for Triv's Trivia and Bits of Tid. So, no, that's not Triv.
We can't show the real Triv. His eyes are so droopy. Oh, there they are.
Still recovering from that.
You're still recovering for the last 2 weeks now.
Hey, not only was I involved in the 48-hour film,
but your house got flooded.
My house got flooded. All of Lake County and stuff. Basement flood. I lost everything.
We could have shot Poseidon Adventure 3 down there.
We could have.
In your basement.
It was horrible. So my hearts go out to all the people that are suffering from that. There's crap all over the lawns and everything.
Quite literally.
Really?
Seriously.
Yeah.
They throw away everything.
But by now it should be all cleaned up.
No.
That took place
Wipe clean. Well, yeah,
quite a while ago.
Right, but whatever.
Well, just imagine. I just love these little, Anyway, so tonight's trivia. What do we got?
It's all you.
Tidbits.
Just press buttons.
That this movie. And I'm going to shout out to Rich for helping me with the tidbits because I've had a hellacious week. There's the shout out right there. Thank you.
You're a totally gross, boring nerd.
See? That's what your son said about you.
He does. So
tidbits.
The tidbits is this movie was shot and completed in 18 days. For $94,000. Why, you may ask?
In 1950 something, though. That was a lot of money back then.
Well, it was. But why, you may ask?
Why?
Why?
Ask.
Because he wanted to beat George Pal's release of Destination Moon. And do you also know that...
So they were in their own space race.
Yes, they were. Hey. See, pro right here, man. A pro. Are you watching?
Do you know the original title of this was actually called None Came Back? But that kind of defeats the purpose of blowing the ending, so they said, no, we better change it back to...
Well, we haven't seen the ending yet. Numbskull.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Well,
See, jump in there with stuff like that.
I'm going off what I'm reading here, and these are the tidbits.
I did not write that on there like that.
See what happens when I'm not in charge of my own tidbits and things and such.
Anyway, well...
Now we're going to be flooded with complaints.
Oh, that's real funny.
Yeah.
Real funny.
So check out the website, themidnightmovie.net. Go to the Facebook page and like us and tell us how we ruined the movie for you tonight.
I got to toss. I'm going to toss a special surprise twist and things. I'm tossing the trivia to Dave.
What?
Here, Dave, I caught it
Because
for you. Because I know you're not very good at sports.
No, not very good at much of anything. Anyway, well,
You laugh when he says
since
stuff.
we're lacking at... Yeah, you kind of
There you
have to
go.
fake it.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's not fun.
tonight's trivia is a fairly simple one. Most of you should probably get this. If you notice, not only is this movie starring Lloyd Bridges, but there's also a very well-known and very easily recognizable Noah Berry Jr., who played in a lot of movies back in the 50s and 60s, a very popular character actor back in the day. Any of you who might be at least my age or more will remember him very famously as playing James Garner's father in a very popular show back in the 70s. What was the name of the show? And as an added little bit bonus question to it, what was Noah Berry Jr.'s famous father's name? Think about it really hard. Anyway, so that's that. Why don't we go back to the exciting conclusion of Rocketshipxm, or None Came Back, as it was originally called. Let's see if you can figure out what happens.
I wish Harry were able to help. It's impossible to get a precise result without radar.
You've done a wonderful job.
We should have fuel enough for a landing.
When will we feel the Earth's gravity?
As soon as there's an increase in speed. According to elapsed time and velocity chart, almost any minute now. But without a check from Harry, it's...
I know we're in a tight spot, but we'll manage somehow.
Any sign of increase in speed?
Not yet. You know, you're a pretty swell girl, Lisa.
Girl? I'm not Dr. Van Horn anymore?
No, just Lisa.
Doing her job.
No, I don't see you that way at all. I see a woman sweet, gentle, and beautiful.
I'm not the same,
Somehow, no.
but I am, you know. The same, I mean.
Well, maybe I've changed then, but I feel that I've never known you before.
Will you, do something for me, please?
Sure, what?
Say my name the way you did a moment ago.
Lisa.
RXM calling VWS. RXM calling VWS. Come in, VWS. Over. Come in, VWS. Can't contact them. They won't answer. They won't ever answer.
Of course they will.
Speed's increasing. We're gonna make it. Shut off the fuel.
I'm sorry. I wish I could help.
You heard what Floyd said. Everything will be all right.
What about the fuel? We lost so much.
Well, we'll have enough for a landing.
How are we doing?
Not so good.
Well, what's the matter? Everything's worked out so far, right in the nose.
We haven't got enough fuel for a landing. Not even for an approach.
But the motors were functioning perfectly before I shut them off.
And 1/10 capacity. I'm sorry, it's all my fault.
Maybe it's only the instruments.
Everything is lost. All Dr. Ekstrom's work in vain. Now the world will never know the terrible truth we learned.
No. Maybe there's still a chance. We must be close enough for shortwave. Try to contact the base.
If we only could. We must report everything. Tell them as much as we can. What we saw. The mistakes that we made.
RXM calling BWS. RXM calling BWS.
Dr. Fleming. Yes? The radio control room just called. They've contacted the RXM.
There's too much interference. You better use these, Doctor.
BWS. Fleming speaking. Calling RXM. Come in, RXM. Repeat that again, please, Dr. Van Horn. What about Dr. Ekstrom?
Now at least they know. Floyd, hold me. Hold me tight.
I wish I knew some words that would help.
I'm sorry that we haven't had any time. That we didn't meet or know each other the way we do now sooner.
Time isn't so important.
Oh, yes, yes, it is.
Don't. We can say that time is behind us, that we've had years together.
Yes.
I can tell you about 1,000 wonderful hours we've spent together, because I feel we would have, inevitably. And there's not that much difference between the future and the past.
Not if you feel this way about it, no. Shouldn't we wake him?
What good would it do?
None, you're right.
It's only seconds, darling. Try not to be afraid.
Floyd, I'm not afraid anymore. Something happened like a great wave carrying us up, bearing us, protecting us.
Dr. Fleming?
Yes?
The men from the news syndicates are still waiting.
All right, let them come in.
Dr. Fleming, the pilot and crew of Flight 19 International Airlines observed a strange object falling over Nova Scotia. According to their report, it could have been the RXM.
My office has been getting the same story over the wires for hours.
We know the RXM has been overdue a long time. Is there any connection, Doctor?
As yet, there has been no confirmation, but yes, I believe there is a connection.
Then they all perished in the crash.
No, 2 were lost earlier.
But the flight must be considered a failure.
Failure? Every point of our rocket theory has been established. It is proven that interspace travel is not only possible, but practicable. And it has supplied us with information which may well mean the salvation of our own world. No, gentlemen. The flight of the RXM was not a failure. Tomorrow we start construction of RXM-2.
Well, before we get started with some more of our foolishness, Dave, I want to take a moment to be serious. A good friend of ours and fellow Midnight Movie
aficionado,
crew member passed
And-
away recently. My best friend, Tim McCloskey, passed away with his battle of cancer. So I'd just like to take a second and remember him and dedicate this show to him because we always went to the Monster Bash. So this show being our first Monster Bash show of the year. Take a second and remember Tim.
That's right.
Who used to, you didn't see him on set a lot. He was in a few of our skits, but whenever we needed something hauled or carried or whatever like that, he was there. So
he was a great guy and part of the Twisted Spine crew.
That's right.
So that's right. So,
he will
and
be
unfortunately, Tim was not able to make it to Monster Bash. I know that was one of the big things every year. You guys always like to go down there, and we're going to show you a little bit of fun of what the Monster Bash is like. So yeah, we'd like to let's give Tim a big round of applause. Good guy.
Gonna miss him.
A very sad, short battle with cancer. So unfortunately, it's sad. But hey, it goes out to you, Timmy boy, and we've got Monster Bash here coming up. So you can enjoy that kind of enjoy what we did down at Monster Bash, talking to all the great people that were down there. Tonight was our first foray into it. We were there all 3 days of the long weekend, so we've got a lot more coming. So you want to stay tuned over the next few weeks to see that for sure. God knows it isn't. God knows it isn't for the movies. And John Savage, right?
Savage, yep.
John Saxon,
whatever,
and others, and we'll be bringing those all to you over the next few weeks and few shows. So anyway, all right. And time to answer our trivia. Triv's like, huh? What?
I'm answering.
Huh? No, you don't have to answer it. Tonight's trivia was Noah Berry, also starring in tonight's movie along with Lloyd Bridges, was very well known for playing the father of James Garner in what very popular 1970s, 80s detective show. Anybody?
Mannix.
You were close. You were close. Not bad.
Barnaby Jones.
Not bad. The Rockford Files,
yeah,
of course.
yeah.
Everybody had to know that one. So and what was Noah Berry Jr.'s father's name? He was a very famous actor. Yes. Was he an actor?
Noah Berry Sr.?
Cowboy actor.
There you go. Noah Berry Sr. Yeah, that was a tough one.
Hey, Rich had a very interesting tidbit about this movie. I'll let Rich explain it.
What was that?
The Hugh guy? What's his name?
Oh yeah, Hugh O'Brien in this movie. When he comes out, he's all bandaged and his shirt was off. Very first beefcake scene in the early 1950s science fiction movies kind of started the beefcake move, and that we enjoy today with me and you. You know what I'm saying?
Hey!
Oh, man.
Hey!
Oh, boy. Did I say enjoy?
You know what? I'm still digesting my dinner, so you know what? Unless you want it all over.
It's one of those creatures from last week's movie.
Oh.
Hey, another tidbit about the movie that's pretty interesting. You know, they're trying to beat George Powell's Destination Moon out there. So when they sent their literature out for this movie, some of the literature actually said, not Destination Moon.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know why, but
it was a big battle between the two of them.
Yeah.
Huh? Wow.
So they made a lot of money.
You know,
off it.
when I saw this movie and watched the ending of it, I thought that was a little unusual for the time. You didn't have too many movies that didn't have the stereotypical happy ending. I wonder how this was received by audiences, by everyone dying when they came back.
What do you think, Zach?
He's playing with a sword. He has no idea what you're talking about.
What do you think about the movie?
Do you know what he's talking about?
Rocketshipxm. That ending was something, wasn't it? We'll dub something in later of him speaking. He's you know what? I might have to kick you out and get Tenorio.
Yes, Rich. That was very interesting.
You want to run Tenorio next week? Try him over here.
Beg your pardon?
Tenorio?
No.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't know what next week's movie is because you didn't tell me yet. What? Well, why are you saying it like I ought to know? How was I supposed to know? There you go. Next week's movie, Devil Girl from Mars.
John Carradine.
With John Carradine and John
Sr.
Savage.
Bela Lugosi's father's in this.
They were at war?
Noah Beery.
Senior.
Yeah. And he rides a horse on the moon.
John Carradine in it, so Rich will be happy. He's really reaching for this John Carradine movie.
Well, I love John Carradine. I won't lie.
I think it has something to do with.
No, that was Bela.
No, that was John Carradine. Did you ever see how claw-like his hands were?
No, I didn't watch his hands.
Arthritis.
Do that again, though. You do a good imitation of claw-like. It's like this.
Just a second.
Oh, God!
All right, next week. Blah.
Blah, blah.
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 This is Zach signing off.
All right, guys, enough is enough. We gotta start the show.